and gentlemen, I'm Vince, also known as Peasant Kobe on the internet. I am kind of known for my love of death and taxes and varying strategies involving value-orientated and destructive white and green creatures. However, a little known fact is that I like to play control, since this revelation can get my cock throbbing just as much as a flickering a blade splicer can, because drawing cards epitomises value. So in the interest of variety and spice, I bring you something a little bit different today. This is modern Esper Charm Control, or Esper Draw-Go Control. This is my list in paper. The only budget considerations on MTGO right now is some off-colour fetches in place of the deltas. I should be spent this month's MTGO budget on Battle of Wits bits because I essentially have an illness. I'm sick. Please, send help. Please, please! The aim of the deck is to play a traditional draw-go plan of countering and killing things at instant speed. The only sorcery speed interaction in the main board is Supreme Verdict, which is a concession to the fact that sometimes you have to blow up the fucking world. You win by resolving a huge Secure the Waste, or beating down with the combination of Snapcaster Mage, Manlands, and the new hotness, Fatcaster Mage. We do this by outvaluing our opponent by drawing more cards than them and wearing down their resources. Sometimes you just blow up their hands with an Esper Charm. Any questions, please do drop them in the comment section below, and I'll link you to a copy of the deck in the description below on Goldfish. So let's take it into a league with a few games here and the rest of the games to come in a follow-up video later this week. As a wise and powerful wizard once said,
Let's go!
I keep a slow hand with no early game interaction or removal, which is probably very, very, very wrong, and hope to God it's a nice, slow, grindy matchup like Jund or something. I'm dead. I'm so fucking dead. It's burned. This matchup does not favour me in the slightest, especially pre-board and not with this fucking hand. Time to play a lot of tap lands and ping myself slowly to death with fetch lands. Meanwhile, Burn executes his traditional plan of firing spells at my face. I take the opportunity with him playing a shock land tapped to fire off an Esper Charm and force cards out of his hand, whilst he hasn't got the mana to empty it in response. The theory here is that less cards in hand means less points of damage applied to my beautiful, beautiful face. He discards a Searing Blaze in the land and fires off his last 2 cards at me in end step, 2 bolts, straight to my face. He is now Hellbent, but not for leather, I might add.
Hellbent for leather!
And in top deck mode, which hopefully I can control better with my expensive, high-cost, premium hard counter spells like Cryptic Command. And then I draw Logic Knot. It's a little late to the party, a little shitbag, but still great with a snappy follow-up to be able to fend off 2 spells from the burn deck. I Cryptic and end step Lightning Helix from him to dig deeper into my deck and force him to have it in terms of 6 points of burn spells next turn. A second Helix brings me to 3, but there's no follow-up bolt. The gods favour me today. Thank you, Cat Jesus. I only saw that 2 life is virtually the same in this matchup as 3, and crack my fetch to gain access to more mana next turn. We are now in squeaky bumhole country, the infamous 50p 5p territory, where a 50p normal-sized arsehole plays clenched tight and firm in panic, now the size of a 5p piece. I crack, get it? Crack. It's a joke around arsehole. Another fetch land going to 1 because I'm a manly man made of testosterone and a strong, indignant sense of malice towards my fellow human beings. I illustrate this inherent virtuous strength and apathy by playing a virtual card game on the internet and making videos about it. I draw in a gate and feel like it is time. It's now or never. It's time to cast this long dormant Sphinx's revelation and get back into this game. Consult the Sphinx! Tapping all but 2 of my lands to allow me to negate a spell and potentially save myself from dying if he has got 1 burn spell sat in hand. I draw another revelation and feel wary of the 3 cards in his hand, expecting burn spells as soon as I try to get out of range with a big tap out revelation. I hit land drops and he plays Eidolon of the Great Revels. I'm okay with it resolving as my spells all cost 1 million mana and don't really trigger the Eidolon. I leave negate up again and rev for the 2nd time, which he responds to with a Lightning Helix. I negate this, going to 1 life from the Eidolon trigger again, and then my rev resolves and I end up on 4 life with a grip of cards including good old Fatcaster Mage. This feels good because I'm now out of range of the majority of the 3 damage burn spells that he appears not to actually have in hand right now that he could top deck. Top deck. I tap out main phase for a Snapcaster Rev, playing around Skull Crack style effects being drawn next turn, leaving me dead to any 3 damage spell plus Boros Charm on his turn. I expect that if he had Boros Charm, however, we would have seen it recast by now. We would have seen it smash into my face. I path his Eidolon and slam another main phase Snapcaster into Rev to bring me to 9 life. He must have been sandbagging creatures to bluff burn spells as he slams 2 Swift Spears into me. This is going to be a sweet value verdict on my next turn, and then I blow up the world. Logic Knot catches the follow-up guide and Shambling Vent starts the slow, laborious climb towards killing him, and he concedes. Game 2, I board into 3 copies of Finks and a timing reinforcement to help the match up, 2 of which sharpen my opening hand. Then my opponent has the most insane draw I have ever fucking seen from Burn. This begins with Triple Swift Spear. I just need to survive to a sequence of Timely into Finks into Verdict, and I should be okay. Timely keeps me alive and gives me false hope, only for a Molten Rain to really fuck me up. Okay, Finks, it's your turn. Hold them back, boy. Just keep me in this. Tarka's command? Fuck! That was a shit-hot and powerful draw from Captain Bernie Pants over there. He's done over 28 points of damage to me this game. Onwards and upwards, on to game 3. He leads out with a guide that doesn't find a land, nor does the second one. Timely reinforcements are, shall we say, timely. My EE for 1 wraths his double creature 1 land draw into an awkward position and subsequently fails to hit any land drops. He concedes after not drawing a second land by turn 6. Bad beats, bro. Bad beats. Next stop on our tour of the worst fucking decks in all of the format, here's Tron. The Chalice for 1 screams Eldrazi Tron to me. I draw some cards after countering the Chalice for 1 on turn 2, he misses a land drop twice and makes a Desperation Scion in turn 4, and I smell a Thought-Knot Seer in hand. He hits his land drop, but by this point I'm already ahead of him and his threats thanks to making land drops. Hashtag 26 lands feels great. I Snapcaster Mage Logic Knot the Thought-Knot Seer, which feels great considering it wasted the Warp Mana in his hand too. Countering a Thought-Knot Seer is a very different experience to that of the cast triggering Titans that epitomise the Eldrazi up until the release of Battle for Zendikar. It feels like you're dodging a bullet or cleaning up a mess before it gets started. It's like when you catch your cousin taking off his trousers and stroking your family cat in a suggestive manner. It fixes the problem before it gets way, way out of hand and you have a disgusting mess to clean up afterwards. Only me? Anyone? Come, you must have, no? Oh, must just be me then. I get to hold up mana for Cryptic, which will answer almost all of the threats he can throw at us. I Cryptic command his Smasher and I Path and Matter Reshaper, my answer lining up great with his threats, which feels fantastic. Just like this Negate on his follow-up Battle Skull. Boom! Headshot! I cut a Smasher, discarding a thing twice, which is basically a combo. A solitary and rather aggressive Snapcaster is beating in, but gets eaten by an Ulamog. Almost. His brother is on hand to save him. I Snapcaster Mage, Cryptic Command in my bin, counter the Mog, and bounce the original Snapcaster back to hand to create a valuable line of plays where I can replay Cryptic Commands, allowing me to keep control of the board. I then use Cryptic Command to smash his second Reality Smasher before it is a reality on the stack, and then let him resolve an Endbringer who has his end brought by a Path to Exile. Some might say this is poetic justice, others might say they're shit puns. Either way, fuck you Eldrazi! I strip his hand of All of Dust and Kozilek and draw step with a Snapcaster Esper Charm, and he concedes under the pressure of being ambushed vipered to death. I keep an incredibly questionable hand, imagine some Christmas land where I counter a Thought-Knot Seer or Smasher and extract it. Why I kept this hand is totally beyond me, and I don't even know if bringing in Surgical Extraction is correct here. This is a little bit embarrassing, but you know, what's in all, is not a very good line of play for me. Tron starts with a map or 2. I hit land drops and do very little with no early game gas whatsoever. He assembles Tron and he Thought-Knot Seers plus smashes me on turn 4, which seems completely fair. Thought-Knot Seer takes my Verdict and I feel really bad. He then plays as a Battle Skull, equips it to Reality Smasher and takes me to 1. I Mystical Teachings for a Cryptic Command to tap his team and buy me a turn, but it isn't good enough as I never draw another Supreme Verdict or Cryptic Command. I deserved to lose this game. My opening hand was fucking awful. I would have had better luck taking a diarrhea shit in my open hands and clapping it together in an attempt to conduct a grand symphony. The wet patter of human excrement coating my face and the office walls around me and my computer monitors would have been more fun than dying to an onslaught of fucking Eldrazi. I am an idiot. On to game 3. I keep a double Verdict hand. I'd like to see Thought-Knot Seer take away these, you fucking bastard. He maps, assembles Tron and makes an underwhelming Matter Reshaper, which means that his hand is quite possibly terrifying for me, as it has cards that cost more than 7 mana in it. I Cryptic a Chalice for 2, only to have him have the second Chalice in hand. My Snappies are now useless. I Tectonic his tower away to turn him off Tron, only to have him play the tower that he had in his hand next turn anyway. This is what I believe the kids call bad beats. He maps for a land, and I take the time to strip him with Esper Charm to catch any gas he has in hand right now. I hit 2 lands, he's now hellbent aside from the land that he fetches with the map. He then sticks a top decked Chalice on 3, which means approximately 14 out of my 34 spells are now dead off the top right now, and even Detention Sphere won't get me out of that. I slam a turn 8 Elspeth, only to have him resolve a top decked Kozilek and refill his hand and give him a potential shitload of Eldrazi flavoured gas. Luckily, Verdict lines up well with Kozilek and stops me getting counted out of the game, but now he is packing gas from Kozi. Thornotseer takes my second Verdict like some form of cruel and twisted joke. I take a moment to shake my fist at the sky, screaming before I begin slamming into his soldiers and playing Protect the Queen with Elspeth. Fuck you, Thornotseer! Fuck you to hell, you bitch! Fuck! My dog came up the stairs and I was shaking my fist out the window for the fist shaky bit. He looks mightily confused. I use Murderous Cut on the Smasher and discard one of my useless Snapcaster mages. He resolves a Batterskull and the Endbringer, forcing me to down-tick Elspeth to wrath away his creatures. I rev for 5 and find nothing but dead cards and lands thanks to his chalices. I then slam in with soldiers and a colonnade and pray he doesn't draw a Smasher. I forget that Ghost Quarter keeps colonnade in check and he bites the dust, reducing the clock once again to minimal pressure. He casts a spell into his own chalice because I don't know if he's taunting me or he's just forgetting that they're there, and I have to block the germ attached to a Batterskull once per turn, which feels bad as his life total rises and rises away from a number that I can pressure without ultimating Elspeth. If I lose this Elspeth, I more than likely lose the game. I trade 9 soldiers with a Smasher wearing a Batterskull, assuming he has no tricks, as his own chalices turn off all of his removal, and he top decks another Smasher. I let it kill Elspeth, and I continue to draw dead. The game is over if I can't draw a Cryptic Command or Wrath in some sequence. I slammed the Detention Sphere into Chalice to show him that his win was because of his chalices, and concede what I felt like a close fought match, even though he had 52 fucking life at the end. I need to learn to keep better hands with this deck and mulligan for more aggressive interaction in the early turns in order to not let an opponent get ahead of me and out for under my later game answers. I also learned that Chalice of the Void is the magic equivalent of drinking someone else's cold puke. If you enjoyed this video, drop me a comment with what it was that you liked or any feedback that you've got for me. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell button to ensure that you get notified when I actually upload content. If you're feeling really generous, share the video on social media. Let others bask in the majestic glory of Esper Charm's humbling glow and my jokes about pissing, shitting and puking myself. As always, I've been Vince, the magic equivalent of Han Solo. Thanks for watching.